Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm up here on the International Passenger Terminal on this beautiful Sydney winter's morning. You can see in the distance there we have the wonderful monument of the Opera House, and behind the Opera House you can see the first light, the crimsoning of the horizon, and it's an absolutely clear horizon, and it's going to be without doubt a spectacular sunrise this morning. How beautiful, how peaceful is our beautiful Sydney, our circular quay. It's the week following Vivid, a spectacular light festival and an outstanding success. I was up here with my daughter on the first Sunday evening when it kicked off, and we had thousands of drones go up into the sky and wonder us with their beautiful display. You can also probably see there a magnificent ocean liner coming into dock here at the International Passenger Terminal. And Sydney is back open for international business, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful to see the cruise liners coming back to our shores with thousands and thousands of tourists to help our economy pick up and get on with it. So today, in the tradition of Jim's 5am Club, I want to go through and detail a book summary. And today's wonderful book that I'll cover is entitled Not Today, by a husband and wife team, by the looks of it, by the authors, a dual authorship of Mike and Erica Schultz. So this book here is all about how to make the most of time, how to make the most of your time, how to make the most of your allotment of time, because each and every one of us have our own allotment of a thing called a lifetime that God gifts us all, and it's something that we need to think about. It's something that we need to consider. And it's something that we need to make the most of, given that time goes quickly. Before you know it, it'll be the end of our lives, and we'll be wondering what it was all about. So the authors kick off the book here with an observation and a thought to kick off this book and to get us thinking as well. So the authors say that we didn't know what was the most important thing to us. We didn't know what was important to us. And we all have that sort of notion and that thought. We didn't know what was important to us, so we didn't know what to do to fill us up. When we woke to the fact that life was indeed short and precious, everything changed from that point. So a powerful opening and a powerful thought to stimulate us and get us thinking. So the authors then go on to say that productivity and action, this is pretty important and pretty profound. They say that productivity and action sit at the other end of the spectrum to procrastination. I can hear the propellers of that ship as it's coming closer and closer. It's called the Pacific Explorer, and it looks oh so magnificent. And I guess by the time they dock up here, the passengers will be able to witness and to experience a most magnificent Sydney sunrise coming up just behind the Opera House. So this author here talks about productivity and procrastination, the two P's in our lives. And they say that to be productive is to be both. You know, we need to take action and we need to do things. And we need to be both effective and efficient with our time. It's not only important to be efficient, but you've got to make sure that you're doing the most with your time when you have that time available to you. So to be productive is to be both effective and efficient in the use of your allotment of time. So the authors, in their wisdom, come up with a thing called a time formula to help us understand and to try and make the most of our time. And what they do is they use the letters of the word time. They use the mnemonic T-I-M-E, and T stands for treasured time. I stands for investing time. M stands for mandatory time, and E stands for empty time. So we've got 4 times that we need to be aware of first and foremost, and we have 4 times that we need to be able to manage and to work on in order to make the most of our time elements. So let's go through the formula, the time formula, and see where it can lead us. So the first thing, the T stands for treasured time. And according to this author, or these authors, treasured time is basically doing the things that bring you most joy and happiness. And it differs. We have to understand that treasured time differs from person to person. You know, what is happy and joyous for me could be completely different to the time that brings you joy and happiness. So we need to reach inside of ourselves. Each and every person needs to reach inside of themselves and ask themselves the question, what brings me happiness? What brings me joy? And to try and spend more time doing more of that. So the next element of time, the I time, is the time that you invest in yourself, the I time. That may help you understand it a little bit better. So using I time, investing in yourself, investing in your skills, and investing in new opportunities is one of the key elements, and a call to action from this author to spend some time and not waste time, but to spend time investing in yourself where possible, and not to put it on the back burner for too long, because most people spend far too much time investing in others and not enough time investing in the most important resource that they have, and that is themselves. And the last 2 times are the ME times. The M time is basically called the mandatory time. So these are the things that we need to do on a daily basis to get by, to look after our jobs, to do the things that we need in order to survive. So, you know, The M time is the time which is the regular things that we do from day to day, our regular work, our responsibilities, our duties. And what the author is saying is that during this regular time, if you're smart, what you can do is you can couple up your regular time with one of the other elements. So for example, what I'm doing today, I'm traveling to work, so I'm going to do my work, I'm going to my job, but on my way to my job, what I did was I read a book summary on the bus on the way in. I took some notes for that book summary, and now I'm presenting that book summary in the form of a Jim's 5am club. And by doing that, I'm making the most of my time from an effective and an efficiency perspective, because I'm coupling up two time elements. And the last element that the author talks about is the E element, and it's called the empty time, or the unstructured time, where we basically do nothing, or we spend time just relaxing, sleeping, recuperating, recreating, all of those things. So it's important to understand the different elements of time that we have available to us, and to make the most of each of those elements as often as we can. And the author makes a very valid and powerful point, where they say that unfortunately too many people spend far too much time in the M and E categories, in the mandatory and the empty time, and not enough time in the T and I elements, doing the things that they enjoy and investing in themselves as well. So the call to action, according to this author, is to try and spend some more time in the things that make you happy and the things that allow you to invest in yourself. The second point that comes from this book, the second formal point that comes from this book, is where the author talks about the importance of learning how to prioritize your time and to motivate yourself. And we need to be disciplined to be able to split our time into the 4 dimensions and make the most of those 4 dimensions and bring a synergy within those 4 dimensions. And as we said, not to spend too much time in the M and E, spend enough time doing the things that are important and getting by, but not spending far too much time is the key message from these authors. So the author invites us to write down our goals and to chunk those goals down into sub-goals and to objectives, and then to start prioritizing them into what's the most important thing for you. And they use a term, an interesting term, which is called a GIA. What is going to be your greatest impact activity at this moment, at this point in time? So throughout the day, we need to ask ourselves time and time again, what's the most productive thing I can do at this moment? What is the most productive thing I can do with my time allocation at this moment of time, at this moment of the day, in this moment in my life, that serves me and makes the most of the time that I have available to me. So what we need to do is we need to be able to re-engineer our habits and to spend more time thinking about how we're going to make the most of our time. And the last point that I want to make as this multi-story construction, this beautiful ship, inches ever so slowly towards me, is to talk about the third and final key point to come from this book, is that we need to obsess with time and learning how to manage it like a pro. And in order to do this, what the author is saying is that we need to stop being distracted, because the distractions that we have in our lives are what are causing us the greatest waste of time, the greatest waste of this absolutely magnificent resource that we have available to us. Because what is happening is that we are being distracted. We are dropping our guards, we're being distracted, and this distraction is stealing from us the time that we have available to us. Just like this ship here is stealing from me the magnificent sunrise that is happening at the other side, so too each and every one of us are having their time through their distractions coming towards them, are being distracted and are losing their time. So the key message from this author is spend less time in the M and E categories, in the mandatory and the empty, and spend more time in the T and I, in the things that make you happy and the things that are an investment of your time that will make you more productive and more useful in times in the future. So the key message once again from this book is to be aware, is to make us aware that there are 4 key categories of time, and to see how we can shape it, how we can work it to make the most of those time elements, to make them fit together, to dovetail them together, but not to let one steal from the rest of your time allocation. So the last point that comes from this book is where the author says that it's important, it's critical to learn how to say no, and to save your no's for those unproductive and inefficient uses of your time. You know, be hard-nosed and be prepared to say no to the M or to the E's, to the empty times in your life, unless of course the empty time in your life is being used to recreate, to sleep, to relax, because we need that as well. But not to be distracted, not to be taken off course, not to be doing the things that other people want us to do, which don't contribute and don't serve us to the best of our own requirements. So make time is the bottom line for the T and I, for the things that bring you joy and the things that you can invest your time in to make you a better person and to bring productivity and joy to those around you. So thank you once again for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. We've had this P&O ship come in and join us. It's been a beautiful start to the day to have the ship inched closer to us ever so slowly. And as you can see, when we look down at the International Passenger Terminal, she's all docked up now, and over the next hour or so we'll have the thousands of passengers disembarking. So take care, have a wonderful Wednesday, and it's going to be a most beautiful day, no doubt, and wishing you a productive day and a day where we can all see if we can implement some of these skills, some of these lessons that we've learnt from these authors, and say no to the things that steal our time and don't bring us joy, or is not a good investment of our time, and to have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care, everybody. Yasas, and bye for now. Take care. Ciao.